Welcome sports fans, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host Joe Moore.
I am Rush.
And this is This or That Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting and riveting sports topics, discussions and debates on the internet.
Yes, people. But before we get into the video, please make sure that you like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. If you're not already subscribed, obviously. And get a bit of maths real quick before we jump into the video, bro.
The maths, as you guys would have already known, because I say it perpetually. Sometimes in the beginning, sometimes at the end, and sometimes in the middle. People, if each one of you guys can get us 5 subscribers, just 5, not 10, but if you can get 10, that's good too, don't get me wrong.
We take it.
But if each one of you guys can get us a minimum of 5 subscribers, you know how many subscribers that would get us by the end of the day?
Yes, people. So today we'll be talking about the under-20 reggae boys. After an unsuccessful tournament, I would put it. We'll talk about some of the pitfalls, what caused the unsuccessful tournament, what are some things that we saw that we want to discuss. So let's start with overall. Was this an unsuccessful tournament? Or do you see any positive, any silver lining? Or was it just out and out, unsuccessful, poor?
Well, to answer the first question, was it an unsuccessful tournament? Yeah, it was, because I believe our aspirations were to qualify for the World Cup, and I think based on the quality that we possessed, it was a realistic ambition.
And the run
to secure qualification based on the past that we were so fortunate to be blessed with. It was a realistic ambition. The question is, are there silver linings? Hell yeah, definitely. I personally am not as wounded or as afflicted by this unsuccessful campaign as many are, or as most seem to be. This is because I am not necessarily a big fan of. I'm a fan of youth football, but I don't necessarily take much importance out of winning in youth football competitions. What I want to see from these competitions is standout athletes that can transition in, that can transition from this level to the highest level seamlessly. That is what I look for most in competitions like this. So had we been successful, but there is nobody that would have been able to make the transition, then it wouldn't have appeased me. If I could get success plus a few gems, that would be perfect. But the fact that I have identified a few gems that I think are of the quality to represent us at the national senior level from this competition, the fact that I saw a few of those, that's definitely a silver lining.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on most of the points that you make a while ago, if not all. This was a poor campaign. You talk about not seeing any good football. We talk about the part that we got managing to avoid all of the favourites up until the quarter-final stages.
How do you manage to avoid all the favourites?
I can't make it to the semi-final. Come on. I honestly feel like on paper Jamaica was definitely top 5 in the whole competition. When I look at the quality of the team, you can argue some Costa Rica and Honduras and in and around that area. But I feel like Jamaica had the quality for sure to make it to the semi-final. So this was poor, and let's make a little transition and talk about why all of this happened. We watched most of the games, and what were some of the things that you saw that could have caused this downfall?
Alright, so one thing I identified with this team is, and I think it tends to translate to our senior football. Lethal attacking line, and when I say lethal, I mean in terms of individual quality. Subpar midfield.
Right. Yeah.
And we saw that happen again in this under-20 competition, where we have in the forward line some of the most talented players in the region, and then when it comes to the midfield, the quality drops off so significantly that it does take away from the way the forwards look. It takes away from the quality that the forwards are able to play with,
right?
Because of that, and also disorganized defending,
right? And I feel like even on paper, individual quality too, our defense is not bad.
Yeah.
No, in terms of it didn't come together as well, but it wasn't bad at all. But carry on.
So so when looking at the competition, I think that is one of the reasons why we wouldn't have been successful as we thought we would have been, or as we hoped to be, because disorganized in the back, poorly constructed midfield with not as much talent as we would have wanted, and because we didn't have a good orchestrator and a good coach to merge the good pieces together, that caused big problems.
Yeah, and I could also see, bro, again, I agree with all that you said. To add to that, I feel like the coaching was subpar. I feel like the quality of players, okay, you didn't have the best squad in the competition, but we needed to see something from the coach. I didn't really see a style of play that I can say most games, this is how Jamaica want to play. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see consistency throughout 90 minutes. I didn't see a team that was together. At times, for a lot of the games, especially before Boyz Clark took the arm, but I didn't see a leader on the pitch.
Yeah.
There was a lot where I could see the coaching lucky not to take a shot at the coach, because I'm pretty sure he's trying his best. But I want to see more, and I need more. Whether Fuzzy can give us more or another coach can, I want to see more, because I feel like this team severely they massively underperform. Like this is, I don't think you can keep a job after this. I don't think you can have this squad not perform, because I'd say this team didn't perform. We got lucky. I think, how many penalties did we get? 3 or 4. We did miss one. Like, we got quite a few penalties, and still not make it out. One thing I must add, the question I asked was, what caused this?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that caused this, bro, players that were supposed to be standouts were not standouts. And to cause some names, because I don't want to beat down on them, because at the end of the day, again, they're teenagers, they're developing players. Cool. In 2 years, we can kill them, because they will be full-blown professionals at this point. But Christopher Pearson, bro, I don't know if it's just me, but he seemed to lack intensity. He plays at the same pace all the time, and you should be the player. Christopher Pearson should be the player that controls the game. He's our 8. He's supposed to be one of the engines of the team, if not the engine of the team. And it seems like he's a little bit lethargic. He lacks intensity in most of the games, and you need to know when to go and come. There are a lot of players in world football that lacks intensity, but you have to be special. When you talk about a Mesut Ozil that doesn't play with a lot of intensity, but you are special when you have the ball. You have to provide that if you never give intensity. Also, I will say Tariq Zimenez was supposed to be a standout. Had one good game all tournament, and I'd say had one good half all tournament.
One good 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it was not a standout. Tariq Zimenez was not the best player on the field in any of the games, and he was the only Jamaican, only reggae boy that made a senior appearance in that squad, right?
What about Devante Campbell?
Devante Campbell, because so he's one of the only.
Yeah.
If he's made the most, right? So Tariq Zimenez should be the best player on the field most times, and he was never the best player on the pitch. So I feel like that cost us. I was watching those games expecting a lot from those two guys. Again, not to beat them, because at the end of the day, they are 18 and 19-year-olds. In 2 years, bro, like these guys need to take a step that they should have taken already.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. So that's what I think caused this poor coaching, players not stepping up, not rising to the occasion, and as you say, not being able to put it all together. That's what I think. Did we miss something big though? Could qualifying for this World Cup, do something for Jamaica that we need? Do you think we missed the trip right now?
I don't think there would be a significant difference to the Jamaican football program, as a whole, if we had secured qualification. I think we'd have gotten some funding from FIFA that could have helped us in various situations, but people are saying, if we had qualified for this World Cup, we would have retained sponsorships and so on and so forth. We did see an under-17 team qualify, about a decade ago. That team boasted the likes of Andre Lewis and Omar Holness and Cordell Bembo and Nico Campbell, so on and so forth. And after that team qualified for World Cup, they didn't even play badly. They went to the World Cup and they competed and they performed. And it didn't do much for the program. And to be honest, a lot of those boys didn't even make the next step.
True.
Think about it.
And this is one of the reasons why you're not so enthused about winning youth competitions.
Exactly.
This goes to your point.
That's why success at this level
doesn't mean much.
Yeah, it doesn't mean much.
much.
I want to see standouts. Like for example, Alva Spurs was a part of an under 17 team. Kemar Lawrence was a part of an under 17 team that weren't necessarily successful, but
they were standout.
Yeah,
and they made the championship.
Exactly, and we saw those guys. Like we saw Kemar Lawrence and Alva Spurs, and there was O'Neal Fisher and Devon Williams. We saw that team. All of those guys are in the same age group. We saw when that team played together. We saw that team was going to be. That we saw that those players would have been standout players. We saw that those players would have matriculated to the next level. And so said, so done. In spite of the fact that they did not. They weren't successful in
as a team
for the World Cup. As compared to that under 17 team with the likes of Cardell Bembo and Eddie Lewis and Nico Campbell and Omar Holness and O'Shane Jenkins. So all of these names, and they managed to secure qualification. And none of those guys from that particular team really made the step up.
That we expected them to make. And you're perfectly right.
And they went to the World Cup.
Talking about standouts and individual players, let's have the final segment right now. Let's talk about some decisions to make. Right, and in that I want us to talk about overall just general decisions to make about this under 20 team. And let's handpick some players that we think should make that next step. Right? So let's start with overall. So we can do coach, we can do players, personally, whatever. What are some decisions to make? First, I can go first. I think we need a new coach. Fuzzy, nice guy, speaks well. I'm pretty sure he has good intentions, work hard. I'm pretty sure most people work hard if you want to be successful. But I'm not sure he's the man for the job. And I want to see better. If he can provide us with better, awesome. But I'm not seeing it right now. So I feel like we need a change in that department. What do you think? Decisions to make.
Yeah, obviously I have to concur with that decision. Another decision that I think we have to make is being even more inclusive of our players that come from the diaspora. No, I'm very happy that we finally saw like full-fledged professionals on our team, that we finally saw dual nationals representing us at a youth level. That filled my heart with joy. It's a very warming feeling knowing that we're finally attempting to accept these individuals. However, I think we can do much better. I think scouting wise for the youth programs can be better, and I think we can be more inclusive because there are still rumors, there is still rumbling of dissent towards foreign players, of the team not gelling as they should be. Like, we're still hearing those stuff. So decisions that need to be made, we need to be more fervent in our scouting. We need to be more deliberate in trying to incorporate more and more English-born Jamaican players. I think that's something that we
I feel like we did well on this trip. English or not, some play in America, so wherever. So we know we have James from Spain or whatever. I feel like we did well on this under 20 trip. We had a few local-based players. But the truth is, bro, in our local football, there will be 1, 2, or 3 that are standouts. Now the level, it won't quite be at the level that we want it to be. But you will find 1 or 2 players that, had they been in England, they would have been in an academy setup, i.e. Pearson or whatever. Guys that are the best at their Rochester, that are the best at their age group in Jamaica, and had they been anywhere else, they would have been just as good.
Yeah.
And even if they're not as good, they would have been at the level.
Yeah.
No.
Agreed.
I feel like we did that well. We didn't.
It's different from the senior.
Yeah, but no, take a jump from academy to senior football, that's a big jump. That is a massive jump, and we can't apply that same strategy to the senior team.
Yeah.
You see me? So I agree with that. Let's talk about the players now. Who do you want to see a decision made on for the national team? Let's go some players.
Yeah. So I don't think it's. I think these players should be a no-brainer. I think there's definitely a gap in quality between a few players and a few other players. So I'll go ahead and give you a few. Surefire has to be next, because I'm assuming that the JFF will do their due diligence and get us some friendlies leading up to the World Cup. Come on, JFF, we need some friendlies leading up to the World Cup. So a few that have to be in the squad. Jamari Clark, Boyz Clark.
Right.
Those 2 guys need to be a part of any 23-man roster we put out going forward. I think there is a chance that Boyz Clark may very well be our third best goalkeeper available to us. That's within the realm of possibility. Now, it might not be the case. I might be incorrect, but he's also 18 years old.
Yeah.
So
his ceiling is crazy.
Yes, I think he's definitely the third goalkeeper going forward. And I think the same with Jamar Clark, a 6'3" powerful forward that can score goals. You know, it's obvious that he can hold his own. He's very confident. You know, he didn't have the greatest tournament, still managed to pull 3 goals out the hat. So I think those 2 players are key players who definitely has to be involved in it.
I'd add one into the mix, Rochester. That's a third that I would consider for the left back spot. We don't have a strong. I wouldn't say we have a strong or sure 2 left backs right now that I can say, hey, this is your spot or this is your spot.
Well, I mean,
we don't even want that.
No,
but whose spot is it? And if we don't
but even so, Rochester wouldn't have anything to say about whose spot is it.
No, but I think Rochester can be included as one of those. I always say 2 or 3, succession plan spots, and those are the 3 guys that I think can have a say. Obviously, the first 2 more than the latter, but
me personally,
I like Rochester.
As I said, there's categories. So for me, there are categories. So the first 2 needs to be in the next 23, and then you have a few that.
But if, like, say, Marbell can't make it,
I have a few that I would consider or that I would interject from time to time. And Rochester would be one of those individuals, but I don't think
he's not a sure call up right now.
That I would say,
Understood.
Other players include Bicknell.
Yeah, I think Bicknell had a good tournament. Came on in a match, had a really good performance, and that's how you won your spot in the midfield.
Consistently.
Really, really good.
He's in the right position and he's always there. He's always working hard. So he's a player, in a position that we have a huge deficit in, first and foremost. So he's an individual that I would consider looking at.
Yeah.
Duncan McKenzie is also an ex-individual that I do think will be making steps. Based on what I saw, I think he definitely has the ability to continue making strides and continue making steps. Other players,
everybody else was okay to me. The names that you mentioned were the real standouts. James had a few good games.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say call up to the national team.
Chad James and I would say Tyler Roberts.
Tyler Roberts, I like Tyler Roberts.
He's somebody that can be in and around the program. And as I said, a guy like Devontae Campbell, if these guys can manage to get themselves contracts overseas, I do believe that, Devontae Campbell, I'm not mad with him being around the program either. He showed sparks of life, and those are kind of like the individuals that I'd say deserves to be in and around the program.
Alright, final question. Who's the best under 20 reggae boy?
Who's the best under 20 reggae boy? Boyz Clark.
For sure. I'd have to go with Boyz Clark too. So we agree on that one. But people, let us know your opinion and other things that we discuss. Probably 4 or 5 your little segments in there. So comment, leave a comment, or maybe this video will be a premiere, so leave a live chat and let us know. What do you think about all these things that we said? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you disagree with and why? Loving the people. But for now,
bro, for the longest while I've not been seeing people commenting, bro.
Yeah.
What is that about?
No.
Matter of fact, I put this clip at the beginning of the video. This is the first thing I want them to say. People, comment on the video, interact with us. You are the reason why we are where we are. So please continue to interact with us. We love responding to your comments. We love coming and making videos about your comments. You get what I'm saying, people?
Lovely.
So chat and tell us that we're talking foolishness. Tell us your talk sense. Tell us your opinion.
Straight. Yeah, bro. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We don't know everything go. But for now, this was That Sports TV.
I'm out.
Yes, sir.